how to use AI in your home lab. Now, if you've been following my channel for a while, you know I've dropped a lot of Linux tutorials and Proxmox tutorials. And recently I've been dropping tests for how good local AI is. It's decent enough, but I'm starting to realize the limitations of local AI. They can manage 1 or 2 servers, right? They can do minor config changes. They can debug and RCA stuff. They can kind of code, but they also require human oversight, lots and lots of human oversight, which kind of defeats the purpose of AI. Thankfully, we're not limited to local AI here at this channel. We can also mess with the cloud stuff, and I do mess with the cloud stuff a lot. And it occurred to me that, maybe you guys want to see how I use AI, how to build custom AI workflows, right? How the entire process of debugging these workflows go, and the mistakes I've made and the lessons I've learned. We'll start with using AI to manage. Let's get more specific here. How to use AI to manage Proxmox, right? And I do use AI to manage Proxmox. It's kind of a hybrid. Sometimes I'll make a virtual machine or a container. Sometimes I'll have AI do it depending on how complicated the config is. And I'm not going to lie, the more complicated and time consuming, the more likely I am just to get the AI to do it. Right? That's why I pay you for AI. But let's go ahead and get started. How to use AI to manage Proxmox. First, let's talk about the architecture. To my left is the diagram of our setup. We're going to have a Proxmox host. And on that Proxmox host, one of our virtual machines is going to be OpenCode. And we're going to use OpenCode to manage the other virtual machines, right? We have some web servers, right, which AI is very good at managing. We have some media servers, which I don't maintain. I'm going to try to see if I can get AI to manage. And then I have some virtual file servers that I have backups of that I don't mind being blown away, just in case AI decides deleting my entire file server is a good way to fix it, So we're going to be testing different stuff. We're going to be confirming AI's capabilities. We'll be testing Deepseek V4 Flash. What is it good for? We'll be testing Deepseek V4 Pro. Is that as good as Opus? Spoiler alert, it's not. But it's still decent. We'll be testing GLM 5.2, which is very good. Kimmy K 2.7, which is very, very good, right? We'll also be testing Codex 5.5 and Opus 4.8 and Fable. Well, maybe not Fable. My pockets ain't deep enough yet. We might have to start a charity fund. To get Opus testing going on this channel, boys. I'm not going to lie. But if we're going to be giving OpenCode access to Proxmox, we should talk about the architecture first. Generally speaking, you shouldn't just have the AI SSH over from whatever environment you're running it in to your remote hosts. I've done that, and best way to describe it, it is a waste of token. The AI has to figure out what you want it to do every single time. Instead, what you have to do is build an environment for the AI to live in, basically. Let's talk about that environment. So we have OpenCode installed. And what we're going to want to do is get our API key configured. First, you want to go to Data Center, and you want to create a new user. We'll call this AI user. We're then going to give this standard LAN or realm login. Leave the group. We're going to call this AI user. And you can leave the email empty. Click add. You then want to go to API tokens and click add. You'll want to assign the API token to your AI user. You'll give this, let's call this OpenCode API key. Then you give it a comment and you click add. It will then display your API key once. Make sure you copy both the token ID and the secret. You'll need it for API access. Once that's done, you can go ahead and close that. You then want to assign API token permissions. Depending on the scope, like what you want it to have access to, you can give it access to everything. You can give it access to particular storage, particular pools, particular VMs. We'll go with everything for now. Assign it to that API access. And then here you can give it default permissions. For instance, no access, administrator, PV admin. Let's see. Yeah, I'll give it administrator. I should give it all the perms we need. But depending on the perms, you might want to go back and create either a new role with the specific permissions you want, right? Or just give it the limited scope permissions you want. So let's say you wanted to add custom permissions. You go to roles. You would then create a new role, custom, assign the different privileges you want that role to have underneath there. Or you could go back to permissions. And for instance, we could add an API permission to everything, but then just limit it to that custom role. So those are both good, valid options. We're going to go with administrator perms from now for testing purposes. And with that, our API key is now ready, and we can start preparing our environment. All right. So you should have open code set up. I went ahead and did that, and I have Kimmy installed. The next step we're going to do is prepare our environment. I'm running this inside of a container and running this as root, right? In a production environment, I would highly recommend that you create a dedicated user account. You set open code to only start as that dedicated user account, and then you restrict it to only read certain files and folders. But this is in production. This is our Homelab, boys. I'm going to assume that you're okay with having a container with root access for the AI to play around in. If you're not, wrong video. I can make another video where you can do this securely if this gets enough attention and traffic. First thing you want to do, I like to make a directory, and then we'll call this Proxmox Manager. Then we're going to cd into that Proxmox Manager directory. Once we're in that directory, we're going to actually spin up open code. When you get open code spun up inside of Proxmox Manager, you'll notice something inside of open code or inside of your other agent harnesses, and that is your working directory. Basically, that's the space where here, see that little squiggly Proxmox Manager? That lets us know that's the folder that open code considers us working inside of. And that's on purpose because we are building the environment inside of the folder that the agent will work out of going forward, right? So everything is self-contained within its own little working area. What I've done is create a Proxmox CLI Python script and a readme and agents.md and put them all in one folder. And this is through my testing, this is the best way to give your agent access to a third-party service, right? And there's multiple reasons you want to just have a folder where you have one or two scripts and an agents.md. One, it's easy to update, easy to maintain. The flat folder layout is also easy for you to move between harnesses and AI providers, right? You can just have a folder somewhere containing that script, containing that agent.md, and then move that file or folder wherever you need to move it and just keep running that same script. Improvements can also be self-contained, which this kind of does, right? The agents.md tells LLM agents to document any issues like bugs or improvements, and the script produces logs so the agent can review the logs of its own output to see how well it's navigating stuff, right? The end result is you have an environment that you can move from host to host that your agent or agents can easily read, consume, edit, all that good stuff. And we are back on open code. What I'm going to do is ask it to list the files you see in your folder, and let's wait for it to respond back. You know, that's kind of a giant waste of compute right there. I could have just ran an ls, but it gave me the files. And what we need it to do, here, readme.md and agents.md, and load the Proxmox Manager. Then create a new LXC container, Debian AI test 3 CT11. All right, so we're gonna kick it off. I have some other test, containers I was using to confirm this work. Well, let's see if it can create that container for us. I told it to read the README and agents, and it's gonna go ahead and do that. And we'll be back in a few minutes when it's done creating the LXC. Afterwards, afterwards we'll proceed from there. And with that, the virtual machine is completed, and we have completed a practical example of the entire theory I was trying to teach you, which is when you're creating your skill or interface for you to interact with a backend service using AI, the easiest method is just to have a simple script that calls an API and tracks what it's doing with that script. and a folder to contain your .env and an agents.md that your agent can read to kind of get a quick pass through. Basically create the environment to help your agent succeed. The cool part about this is if you create the environment right, you can kind of just swap out agents, and you can use very dumb agents to get the work done. Tune in next video where we'll be using Quinn 3.59b to create virtual machines on Proxmox. It doesn't have to be the smartest model if your environment is already staged correctly, and I'll show you what I mean. Otherwise, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please hit the like button. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe either here on YouTube or at TikTok, Low Spec Labs, and tune in. Sometimes I do short form content over there that is occasionally humorous, but might not. I've been told I have a unique sense of humor. All right. As always, thank you for watching, and stay blessed, boys. I'll see you next time.